Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream of VRML Preseason Week 2. I'm Palidore here again casting for you with cameraman and production extraordinaire Wit doing the streaming duties. So today, or tonight rather, in this matchup, we have ourselves Systematic Failure versus ReeVspawn. Two teams we saw as early as, well, one night ago. In that jam-packed Friday night that we had of matches yesterday. And it was actually Systematic Failure taking the win, the first win of their preseason against Team Rush. And they managed to get that with a score differential of 32-16 by the end of that one. Meanwhile, for ReeVspawn, yesterday it was a little bit of a task trying to get everything together. They were unfortunately missing one of their members, and they had to go a full 3 rounds playing 4v3. And actually, the third round, I should correct that, they went 3v3 against Atlas Megacorp, just kind of opting to go that route. But indeed, with the heavy numbers disadvantage, it didn't wind up so well for them. But right now, ReeVspawn's going to come in here and try and collect their first win. While Systematic Failure, on the other hand, is going to try and maintain the momentum that they from last night. And I should say, Systematic's game last night was a pretty entertaining one versus Rush. There was an awful lot of brawls. I think someone posted, it was like 200-something brawls. Something ridiculous like that. Stuns across those 3 rounds. It was mighty entertaining, I gotta say. But in any case, mighty entertaining. This game should be just as well as we line ourselves up here for the launch. It's going to be on the blue side, ReeVspawn, Vex, Vidman, Kaznaz, and Levity. On orange, it is Big Bot, Dual Game, Raskus, and Death Toller 11 for Systematic Failure. So off into the orange side and taken there by Vex. You're going to find Kaznaz, finds him right back, and the first goal right there for Vex immediately almost. That joust just 14 seconds into that one. So good start. And over in chat, hello to everyone. See Jason subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, sir. Using that new affiliated status we've got. Gotta love it. And then we gotta appreciate that for sure. And now it's gonna be Disc getting into that bubble for ReeVspawn, collected there by Vex. Now, Vex is going to just clear that out, pass it out, actually. Nice and softly as well. That was a good little look there to Kaznaz. Now, it's going to float towards the bottom of the floor, possibly recollected, but no, overshooting. So Kaznaz rebounding that. And with a resounding 3-point goal. That is 5 quickly on the board for ReeVspawn. Systematic Failure. Scoreless, about a minute and a half in, and on the joust advantage now. So Raskus rolling out. Slightly botched joust there will result in a turnover after a lot of awkward bounces. Might just go back to the other side, though, depending on this one. Now, we might be seeing a little dogpile, and indeed we will. These teams kind of getting all up in each other's grills, and finally coming away with it is Duel. Duel, though, not seeing the defender Vex on his flank, sneaking up, stealing the disc. Now looking for a soft pass, rolling past him, and maybe on the recollect. Nice short-range boost there. It was Vidman getting that small boost to recover the disc, and now into that bottom pocket over there, it's going to be Levity. Levity contested tight. Good defense from Dual Game. Dual Game looking for that slap out, and it will get over there into the mid area if nothing else. But just seems like tough time handling the disc. Both these teams at the moment. Some soft passes, but just the positioning not quite online to actually grab it. Now, though, the shot, that was excellently done. Vidman got the stun on the goalie, and then Kaznaz was the one to capitalize on it with a shot. Good communication from ReeVspawn, surely, to make that happen. Of course, we've gone to it before, but ReeVspawn, famed combat team, champions at that. Trying to make their move into the arena scene. And we know they have that experience as a team. So it's going to be fun to see how that chemistry develops. And so far, I mean, you can already see some of the chemistry developing on some of these plays that we've seen from ReeVspawn early on. But now swinging it on through, it's going to be Levity taking that disc for ReeVspawn. Up to Vidman at the nest. Contested heavily, but still enough time to squeeze a shot right through the defender, who again was bothered and contested by other blue players. So some good awareness there. And just a cohesive effort on offense is buying ReeVspawn this 10-point lead. And we're not quite halfway through this first round at that. So strong start for the combat crew. And now into the hands. Deep shot off the backboard. Could not convert on that one. So Vex Z is going to be there. Just call him Vex Z again. Vex. Got to remember that. Sputnik informed me it was Vex, and I've been calling him Vex Z for the longest time, and no one ever corrected me. But Vex is going to take that and back pass it on to Vidman. Short range, just out of the range of the defender's hand. Duel there, almost got the grab, and now it's going to be Vex with that clear. Going opposite corner. Some nice leeches there from ReeVspawn. Going to result in this shot, just floating past the defender and into the hands of Death Toller, who has it stolen. Another shot, but saved there. Raskus deep in that goal, gets the clear. Now immediate boost going to come through. And little overshooting going to cause this to float on outside the bubble. And maybe recollected there on the other end, though, by systematic failure. They will. Now there's 3 players in that tunnel for systematic failure, so not quite the positioning they wanted. See if they can just space out a little bit more. That's some nice spacing and a nice pass. And now they got some good spacing on those passing lanes. They just got to find them. But instead, opting for a softer shot that just floats into the hands of Kaznaz, trying to get the clear. So they get another chance at it. Nice punch there. Bold from Death Toller. But again, so stolen by Vidman, and it looks like systematic failure. They have beautiful positioning for the passes, but for some reason not actually looking for said passes. And that resulted in some kind of easy saves and turnovers for the other team. It's fortunate for them that they're going to get another opportunity, but you can kind of see right there again where it was just not looking for the pass and instead kind of going for the shot or the random clear, and that makes it a lot easier on ReeVspawn's part to collect those discs and then continue their offensive stampede that they've been running so far. So I think that's the one change that systematic failure really wants to address, because they got the positioning, but now maybe the shot. But yeah, just not finding those easier opportunities on the passing lanes. Then on the stack, though, is good. The recollection, so they're getting multiple attempts at the goal here. More stuns coming out. Now a little bit of a pile up. And sent over to that corner. The goalie dived out, so maybe an open shot, but oh, off the head or hands, kind of knocking it loose on his own teammate. So it's going to float back up in that outer bubble. Vex is going to look for the slap clear into the corner pocket. Awaiting it is Vidman on the recovery. Turns around just to analyze the situation before going for a clear and the second clear as well. And now Stacks coming through. So the speed from Systematic's failure, very good to get back on defense. They're doing the right things on that end. Good look, but too strong in the pass. So the awareness was there that time, and Levity just playing way in the back, trying to deny any kind of three-point shots, making sure that systematic failure can't get any kind of momentum, because everyone knows those long threes can, they can take a toll on you. No one likes to see those go in, on their own goal. Okay, so taking it in on that goal, going to work it through, and oh, the goal made. Has almost the save, but I believe it was Big Bot able to get the points right through that defender for the 2. So there you go. Couple points on the board for them. Real Mamba cheering, and see Jason cheering for Death Toller. He's a rock and roller, ain't he? And now going to be in that outer edge of the bubble. Sailing past the hands of a few players before Big Bot takes that over. Clears it just past the hands of the awaiting backline player. Now a good stack. Those are the ones I was talking about, but the overshoot instead. I do like the speed there from systematic failure. And now looking for a pass. Dual Game gets that one. Dishes another one. It's going to get into the hands of Big Bot. There is one defender at goal. And now a stack encroaching upon them and taking place inside the bubble for the defense. And now it's just stolen from behind. Vidman swooping in. Trying to look for some more boosts, however. And Vex is going to go ramp. Has a, well, not that great of a chance, I suppose, going in. And it's going to go to a Big Bot instead over there. Contested by 3 different ReeVspawn players before the clear goes out and through. So now top ramp, Kaz is there. Softly trying to send it through somewhere. Brawling with dual game nicely. And now you can see their recollection and ReeVspawn just splitting apart, trying to find their defensive or their offensive positioning for those passes. So you gotta like that. They recognize quickly that they're starting to pile up a little too quick, so they adjusted. They found their spacing instead, and that's what you need to do off of those recollections, off of clears and things like that. And now pass over to that corner post, going in for another 2. It's Kaznaz, knowing what to do. Yeah, Kaznazdi is right, says Visionary in the Twitch chat. Coming ahead with 8 points right now for his team with less than a minute in this first round. Rolling out Vraskis, cubing for Systematic. Gonna be intercepted there from Kaz, talking about him and how hot he's been, and it might continue, but no, the ding denying him the satisfaction of that goal. As well as perhaps the viewers at home, which is to say, Visionary. But maybe he'll get another attempt here because Vidman's going to look for a pass to Vex. And here the comms coming out. The pass a little bit astray, still recollected there by Levity. Trying to go back, but dual game nicely cutting off the passing lane. Intercept, clear. Now some partial boosts, short range ones coming through. Death Toller, that was nice with Big Bot. At least getting the clear, but wisely retreating is Kaz, able to collect the disc with 8 seconds left. And that's going to close off this round in favor of ReeVspawn. 12-2. And with that being said, also a last-second dropout. Looks like Levity has just crashed. Perfect time to do so, I suppose. So yeah, there is a minute in between these rounds. 59 seconds, to be precise, I suppose. So hopefully that should be enough time for Levity to get back into the game. But otherwise, that first round just pretty much handled, and there's Levity rejoining, pretty much handled there by ReeVspawn. They had some good team play, good positioning. Not actually much in the way of assists, that is to say, but just the midfield, the work they were doing there. They're finding a lot of good passes, and they weren't going for just the random clears at every opportunity, things like that. I mean, they were playing pretty collected. They knew when to spread out and when to converge, things like that. The defense as well, you can see Kaz and Vid, 2 saves apiece. Vex had a save as well. High score was Kaznaz with the 8. And over on the Systematic Failure end, a lot of brawls coming through. All of their team on Systematic Failure, double-digit in the stun department, but can't get too much done in the shot department. It was Big Bot, I believe, who had the 2 points. Won't show up on the scoreboard because it was off of Kaz, who was in the goal. But the 2 points coming from Big Bot, I do believe. And then a save apiece for dual game Vraskis and Death Toller as they roll on out here on this second round joust. But it will just roll back to Vidman. He's playing that back line and looking for that pass to Levity. This is kind of what I was talking about, where they would cause these turnovers in the midfield, and that said the stat coming from behind. But yeah, instead of looking for the immediate clear, ReeVspawn was doing pretty well on just looking for those teammates and finding their positional passing. So looking pretty collected on that end, and see if they can manage it again here. Right now, trying to stun him out. That was good. Vidman finding it, but not for very long, because dual game is there with those defensive hands, getting it to Big Bot. But speaking of defensive hands, Kaznaz giving it right back to Systematic Failure. And now looking for that quick stack. Kaz is there first, and from that corner as he fades away, that was a tough angle. Had to throw it really soft to make sure that didn't sail past, and he found the bottom of the goal just like he planned. So 2 points, first of this second round, going right back to Kaz. In double digits now with 10, as well as 3 saves. Big Bot on the rollout. There's a stack in the back line for ReeVspawn. Duel is going to try and work his way past it, weaving a pass to Death Toller. Now, it may be a pass too soft, however. It was a good look, but Vidman was able to collect that without too much trouble. Now, Stacks attempting to come through. There's a lot of grabbing and re-grabbing going on, just trying to find their speed for both teams. Now, it's going to result in ReeVspawn retaining the disc and having control here on the offensive end. Levity's on the other end. Hand was out looking for that pass, a little bit too low, but luckily Kaznaz was there to brawl and keep possession. Now Vex is going to work that in. Can't make the shot either. Levity is going to be there, trying to collect it off the bounce. You can see Vex nearby, spreading out for the pass. So good awareness there. They have 3 men in the bubble there for ReeVspawn. Oh, beautiful stun on the goalie. Perfect timing on that one to make that 3-point shot go through. That was great. So Levity got the 3 points. When that shot went out, I was looking at it at the goal. I'm thinking, that's not going through. What are they doing? But then, right after that left his hands, there was an immediate stun on a exposed goalie, and that's what bought him the goal. So nice communication. That's the second time we've seen that from ReeVspawn. They did that once, at least in round 1, where they had stunned the goalie to buy them a 3. So again, we can see that team play. Not the scoreboard assist, but the indirect assist, the intangible one that definitely is what enabled that shot to happen. So beautiful team play at work there. And now, just floating on through in the pack line, ReeVspawn doing a great job to deny some of those initial stacks, and they bought Kaznaz, who was floating down the floor awfully slow. A lot of time to collect the disc again. So good pass over to Vex. Maybe lining up this open shot and just dinging off the top as the defense gets back in the bubble for Systematic. Still recovering and maybe back passing. Will get to the hands of Kaznaz. Kaznaz is going to find that sidewall pass to Vex. So another pass being delivered there, but good contest. Big Bot gets the punch, which enables Vraskus to dive out and clear that shot. And now looking for a stack as well. They're going to be fast on the approach, forcing a quick clear, and even faster on the back stack. Look at this. That is some great stacking from Systematic Failure, just ping-ponging off the wall to get back on defense on the opposite side of the floor. Everyone just trying to get in position here and find their opportunities to grab that disc. Some minor pileups going kind of in that mid area, but now dispersing a bit and taking a shot is Duel Game. It's going to be a bit low and a chance at the rebound. They will get it, but Death Toller, he thought he dodged the one defender, which he did, but then they had another one directly behind. And Death Toller getting a little revenge stun in the back line as a result. But still, it's going to be Vex there. Having it stolen now. Duel, he's had a couple nice steals in that mid-range, but having it taken right back now. So pass goes down low to Levity. Looking up high to Vidman, but great save there by Vraskus. One more attempt. Gets that pass off, bouncing off the side into the hands of Kaznaz. Getting stunned, but finding a soft pass that actually just is intercepted by Big Bot. It looks for the clear. And now, immediately on the stack, it's going to be ReeVspawn. Systematic Failure pretty close on their tail, but are going to need to get back quickly here if they want to deny a scoring opportunity for ReeVspawn. So taken there by Vraskus. A little bit of a rush clear, though. Maybe he thought his teammate was actually an enemy, just heard that booster coming up from behind him or beside him. So Levity will take that in the bottom of the goal, just looking for that pass. We've seen that a couple times in a row now, where Levity will take the disc just below barrier, and then he finds Kaz just above, kind of directly above. So taken back there by Vex and gets into the hands of Levity. Levity's going to have it stolen. Big Bot coming through, trying to find out something he can do, but some hot potato once more. Levity just hanging out there and feasting off those retrievals and going to look upwards to the pass. I'm getting the impression that Levity loves passing straight up because a lot of his passes are coming just from down below. Catch this, and he'll just look right above his head. And now it's going to be Kaz looking for one more pass. Backboard opportunity, beautifully done to Levity. So Kaz returning the favor to his teammate on that assist. And hello again, just checking in with you guys at chat. Enjoying your weekend, I do hope. And if not, hopefully it's not my fault. Off to Big Bot, and stolen actually by Kaznaz, doing some more work, trying to put some more points on the board, and it's gonna squeeze right in on that corner. It's one of those 50-50 shots where, just because of the angle it hit, you didn't know for sure, but it was a good one. Sniped that through there in that corner. So launching out now, up by 10. This is a position that ReeVspawn found themselves in around the same timing as that last match, at 10-0 lead. Just trying to take control here. Systematic failure, meanwhile trying to get on the board, the scoreboard with those points. Diving in there, Vraskis. And just kind of diving into the two defenders in that case. Might result in another rebound and put back by Kaznaz. Indeed it will. So the players on the voice there momentarily after goal, sharing a little bit of a laugh. And yeah, that's one of the things I saw last night in the game Systematic Failure had versus Rush. Just from both teams, overwhelmingly positive attitudes. It was a fun game, intense one yesterday, so huge props based on that alone. But now coming in, having it stolen, knocked out of his hands. Big Bot's gonna retrieve it, go in one more time, and there you go for the 2-point score. Second attempt, and then with contempt finds the bottom of the goal. But yeah, great attitudes all around from these teams, these newer to arena teams, all across the board. Same with ReeVspawn. I mean, obviously it was a tough situation yesterday, being down by a player for their entire matchup, the entire series. And yet the attitudes were all great. Like, they were still executing. They weren't just sandbagging and thinking, oh, we're down a player, we're just not going to take this seriously. It's you know, we're going to forfeit. No, they didn't do that. They just played all the way through, all 3 matches. You know, they weren't even mercies or anything. They held them all the way through the full 10 minutes. They had some nice plays, some great defense. There were some awesome defensive plays from ReeVspawn in yesterday's game. Like, some just insane saves if you haven't caught that match. So yeah, great attitudes all around. And now looking for a score off that pass. Kind of identical play as we saw last time. It was Kaznaz, the Levity in the backboard. That time, from the opposite side, it was Kaznaz, the Vidman. So distributing it now is Kaznaz, getting 3 assists on the board for his team and helping his teammates get integrated in that offense. Very strong effort as we approach this final 40 seconds of round 2. So the disc will sail to Big Bot's hands, and ReeVspawn just retreating to that bubble area. Now taking it in, and hey, Vraskis again, right in for the goal. There was a ReeVspawn player that was actually stuck way back at the midcourt. So not quite as congested in the bubble as it would normally be, and Systematic Failure as a result capitalized on it for 4 points on their side. Now with 6 seconds left and counting, that's going to be the end of round 2. And congratulations to ReeVspawn, who will actually get their first win on the preseason. So I guess sharing the wealth a little bit. Systematic Failure had their first win last night, and now ReeVspawn getting themselves on the win column after a lot of strong efforts, and then the one rough matchup yesterday with the 3 players. It was good stuff all around. So after 2 rounds, it will be Kaznaz just dominating, honestly, on the scoreboard from every perspective. He has the game-high 15 points, the game-high 3 assists, the game-high 5 saves, the game-high 4 steals, the game-high 32 stuns. Indeed, Kaznaz in every single category right now, just dominant. So MVP without a doubt across these first 2 rounds. But that said, collective effort also from ReeVspawn, just doing excellent with their spacing, enabling Kaznaz to get a lot of these points racked up. But impressive effort without a doubt. Over on Systematic Failure's side, it's 2 points apiece for Vraskis and Big Bot. couple saves as well for Raskus. 3 steals for dual game, as well as 26 stuns. Then possession, 62% of that going to ReeVspawn, so they were in firm control of that disc most of the time. As well as well ahead on the saves department with that defense and the steals as well. And now, first opportunity at a score won't happen there, so Vidman's going to get that pass down low. And that's what I was talking about earlier. See, they force a turnover, but the instinct is not to clear immediately. The instinct is to look for their teammates somewhere positioned down the floor. So they're getting a lot of those midfield passes really well timed. Now, they were snuck up upon, so maybe a turnover here, but it's just going to be recollected by Levity, who slaps it through with the defense not far behind. And so much for subtlety, subscribing with Twitch Prime. And I even let me rhyme 3 times, 4 times right there. So thank you, that was awesome. Now Vidman's gonna come through. Kaznaz into the goal. There you go, another assist. His teammates enabling him to continue on this hot streak to the tune of 17 points. Kaznaz continuing his hot streak and systematic failure, getting right back on this launch. About a minute into this final round. Looking for a quick pass, little bit of a boost, but intercepted and rejected, and Levity collected it. Bottom of the floor, finding that pass corner to the bow tie, backing it out, and then spacing out. So again, what I'm saying right there is just the spacing. They're very rarely is ReeVspawn this entire series been clumped up all on the same spot trying to collect that disc. You know, pass or shot going through actually. That was almost in. Maybe a rebound. That was almost a gorgeous one. But as I was saying, ReeVspawn very rarely has actually been dogpiled in this match at all. It's they allow their teammate, whoever's closest to the disc, they allow him to contest it. Meanwhile, the rest of the players, they space out to find their passing lanes to offer the opportunity, you know, to find those passes and have a controlled offense all the way up and down the floor. Now, Vidman checking behind him a few times, trying to wind it in, but no, reeling it in off the head. Levity's still going to recollect. Send a pass directly up top, his favorite spot. No one was really there, but it still got right back to them. Kind of, I guess properly ironic, saying, you know, Levity implies something up high, but, you know, he's always down low. It's his favorite spot. At least so far. So Kaznaz is going to be contested anyway by the defense there from dual game, and it's going to result in a turnover. Raskus is going to find a sidewall clear, maybe too soft, so it's just going to sail right back into the hands of, well, who knows, because now it's a little bit of a pile-up and finding itself in that bow tie area and slinging it off his own teammate. It looked like there. A little bit of disarray from both teams. Vex is going to collect that finally, sends a quick one to Levity. Levity looking up high from down low. And one more, Vex Z off the backboard, and Vidman, absolutely. Vex taking that shot, might have been a pass even, I don't know. It was a soft one, but in perfect position for the rebound was Vidman. And in the chat, DJ Jettison cheering on systematic failure. Absolutely, I really love what I've seen from these guys. You know, coming in here kind of new and fresh into the competitive scene, having a great attitude about it. They have some like already really well executed or well thought out ideas. It's more so the execution, and that stuff just comes with time. It comes with the team chemistry. It comes with feeling, you know, just feeling the flow of the match and in the competitive scene, because certainly playing at competitive levels and organized games is extremely different from playing random matches and public matches and things like that. So it's kind of a time thing, but I have seen from systematic failure, they've done a good job getting boosts. Their spacing has been quite good at times. You know, the pass execution wasn't always there, but they were making like the right moves, and they had the awareness to look for those things. So over time, I fully expect systematic failure to continue improving at a fast rate. And now down below, though, it's going to be floating on through. Collected by Kaz, finally, backing it on out. Some nice jukes. Finds his teammate Vidman up top as he cuts on through into that corner. Loses the disc just briefly. Goes down to Vex, and Vex! What a vexing shot that was to put him up by 6.
14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8,
So much for subtlety in the chat saying we need some custom emotes on this channel. Well, what if I told you that they are there? They're just real subtle. Aha. Anyway, off to Big Bot. Gonna find a pass quickly down. It's not gonna reach the mark. So floating on through, and now short range boost. Nicely done by Kaz. Vex as well. Separating himself, looking to make himself open just in case Kaz needs a pass, but also on the back lines, Kaz has some options. So great spacing and backing it out now. So there you go. Off to Vidman. Vidman's contested quite hard by Big Bot, trying to cut off these passing lanes. Finally do find a pass to Levity, but good stun from Big Bot on Vex at the barrier, denying them the pass. So good defense there from Systematic, causing this turnover. And as well, they got a nice little boost. Cannot collect the disc, however, so that's going to go right back onto the other side of the floor. Kaznaz will collect it. Find another one. Too much strength on that pass. And again, the defense as well from Systematic, just bothering people in that barrier area inside the bubble. Big Bot doing some work. And now another shot. So ReeVspawn there. Oh, off the backboard and collected. Rejected, but into Levity's pocket. And he will drop it. So 8 points on the board for ReeVspawn after some excellent defense from Systematic failure. They're doing a good job cutting it off in that play. You may have noticed ReeVspawn actually went for that punch on the goalie into a 3-point shot again. They were looking for it, that is. However, Systematic failure, they left 2 in the goal at that point, and they were actually able to punch out the person that was bothering the goalie. So again, that's some excellent recognition from Systematic failure's part there, and some good adaptation based off of what went wrong in previous rounds. And you gotta love it. That's what it takes. Those moment-to-moment adjustments, those between-round adjustments, and Systematic failure doing a good job of recognizing those things, if nothing else. And now Big Bot gonna take that for the 2, just on that edge. So got the 2-point line, towing it, throwing it, and sewing it for the 2-point on their side. About 2.5 left. This is a 3rd round matchup, and ReeVspawn, of course, taking the first 2 on their win, as I mentioned. But looking to come back here and put some more points is Systematic failure. So Levity's going to take that one, but Big Bot again. So Big Bot starting to catch on fire as he fires a shot from 3. That's 7 points in relatively quick succession now for Big Bot, as well as an assist and a steal and 34 stuns. Almost matching Kaznaz's stun total there at this point. And yeah, Big Bot doing some work for sure those last couple plays. So Kaznaz looking down low, finding Vex. Will be a 3-on-1 situation, so wisely backs it out until his teammates can join him up top. And now Kaznaz gonna look down low, and right into the goal it goes. Vex, again assisted by Kaznaz, so whereas Kaz was scoring in bunches the first couple rounds, he's also shown his ability to pass to the tune of 4 assists. Now winding down now with 90 seconds left. 5-point game, Big Bot and Systematic failure on the offense. A chance to make something work here. It will actually reach the hands of Duel Game, so maybe can make it even closer if they play their cards right. The stun going through. Beautiful for Duel. And Vraskis down there pulling a ReeVspawn on ReeVspawn by punching out that goalie to enable the shot. So just like that, some back-to-back-to-back plays from Systematic failure to make this a really interesting game in the last couple minutes. It's only a 3-point deficit now with under a minute to spare. So if we can see more of that brawling, more of that defense from Systematic failure, we might be looking at potentially a tied-up game if they can get a 3 off of it. But I've been really impressed with their defensive adjustments here late. Oh, but that one still gonna go through for Vex. The stack almost getting back, and that was just a flat-out one-on-one, and Vex knew what to do with it. That case, Systematic failure, their stack was being a little bit more aggressive on the front line, mostly because they had to be, right? They only had a minute, less than a minute, to play some defense. So, just trying to cause a little bit of chaos over there in the midfield area so they can buy that 3-point breakaway. So somewhat out of necessity, and maybe it won't pay off, but still very impressive third round from Systematic Failure as Vex goes in for one more score, assisted by Levity, just to cap it off for ReeVspawn in this third round. And so with that said, the match will conclude. ReeVspawn going 3-0 and collecting their win on the preseason, first one, after some very nice team play and some extremely dominant play all around from Kaznaz. He finished with 17 points, 5 assists, 5 saves, 4 steals, 43 stuns. He was 1 stun away, unfortunately for him, 1 stun away for tying the game high. Otherwise, in every other category, Kaz tying or coming up well ahead, leading the way for ReeVspawn. But some strong stats all around too. I mean, Vex with the 10 points, 1 assist, 2 saves, 2 steals. Vidman, 6 points, 2 assists, 4 saves. Levity with 7 points, an assist and a save. And over on Systematic Failure side, 7 for Big Bot, 2 for Dual Game, 2 for Vraskis, as well as 2 saves for Vraskis and a save for Dual and Co. And now we're kicked out of the match into a public match with Strembitsky. Let's see what he does. I'm just kidding. I mean, we can, but anyway. So yeah, it looks like the players went to the lobby, which kicked me out into a spectated match instead, which is fine. We at least got to look at the stats. And that was a good effort there for ReeVspawn. Good effort there in the pub match from eTech12 on the shot. Excellent. And yes, we're going to be moving on to one more match in the evening. That's going to be starting up in a little bit, about an hour, 20 minutes. So we got a little bit of a pause. It's going to be Orbit and Ignite coming at you. That will be no doubt an exciting match, so stay tuned for that. So until then, thanks for joining. I've been Palidore, Wit over on the cams and stream. And we'll be back in an hour and 20 minutes for your main event, if you will. So until then, good night temporarily and good fight temporarily.